What's up? It's your boy TNT, platinum producer, Airbit producer, produced for Raw Wave, NBA YoungBoy, Lil Tjay, Lil Baby, Fabio, a lot more. Appreciate y'all having me.
Hey, what's up, Airbit community? Today we have a very, very special interview with one of our very own producers from the Airbit platform. He's not only an Airbit producer, but he's also a platinum and Billboard charting producer. Worked with NBA YoungBoy, Rod Wave, YG, Lil Tjay, Moray, Polo G, and so many more. Y'all give it up for my man TnTXD. What's up, man?
What's up with you, man?
Hey man, I'm good, bro. I'm really good. I'm glad to have you back. This is our second interview. And bro, nothing's changed. The work, the hustle is still on point, man. You still out here doing your thing.
Man, trying to keep it consistent, man, it's been a crazy couple years. So it's like every year I gotta like restart it, you feel me? So every year I challenge myself, like I wanna have at least like 50 placements, you feel me?
That's dope,
Like,
bro.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the goals are super important in this process as a producer, and I think for a lot of up and coming producers, they don't really realize that right out the gate, right? Like people who are out here really doing it really got a system in place, right? They got goals, they got things that they're doing to work hard to get to where they want to be, and that's super evident within your career, bro. So I applaud you for that. Good shit.
I appreciate you.
So so before we get going, man, I want to really dive into like who you are as a producer, some of the things you've been working on, but I've been catching you on Twitch, and I've been noticing that there are some things that you've
Yeah.
been saying on Twitch that I want to touch on, not right this minute, but we're gonna get to it. But before we do that, I would love to just kind of give people a backstory of who you are, where you come from, to get to the point that you are today. So if you can, man, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, man. Where are you from, and what was your early childhood like?
Originally I'm from something South Carolina. Like being there, it was like, I mean, it was kind of hard up until really probably a couple years ago, really like when the music took off. But like, I mean, growing up there, it's like a little city. It is probably I could probably count on my hands how many people that actually made it out. You know, I mean, every people like that been successful to actually like make it out in the sense of like on a like nationwide like platform. It's probably been you can count on your hands. So being there, it was just like I mean, it was harder, but having the internet and being having like access to like YouTube and Airbit and everything like that, it really helped me. Because if I didn't have the internet, being in the city I was in, it's like you can't really, you feel me?
How many
Like I
people
love,
we talking, bro? Like, how many people live there?
man, it's small. Like it's our we have a strip. It's like it's called Broad Street. That's our downtown. It has hotels and restaurants.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's that small.
So, like, what kind of rest? Like, a lot of restaurants, or like a couple?
Like you get your basic ones like and your whole our biggest city is like a hotel.
Really?
You know, like I think it's like one of our biggest like I mean our biggest buildings is like one of the hotels. Like I
Wow.
think it's like but I mean I love the city, but it's just like if I didn't have the internet, if I didn't have like access to social media, like nobody would be coming to our city to check for music and producers. So
So, with that being said, like, I would imagine the inspiration is a little limited. So, what is it that inspired you even want to go down the route of making music?
what inspired me for music, be honest, it was just I see my brother rap. So like I always loved music, but I didn't have like any musical abilities. I was trash, you feel me? But I was always inspired by it because I loved it. But I mean, I always played football. So after the football was over with, I tried to go to the army, and really it was just I was bored. I didn't have anybody around me. I didn't have nothing. I literally just was like, man, let me try it.
Yeah.
And then like when I picked it up, it was just the love for it was there. I wasn't good, but I had love for it.
So, were you making beats while you were in the army? Did you start
I
there,
didn't.
or
They
was it?
didn't let me in.
Oh, they didn't let. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Nah, they didn't let me in. Like I went through, I did all the paperwork and everything, and they just didn't call me back.
So what was your next stop after that?
I was working. I was a dishwasher at Cracker Barrel,
I
and it
love
was just
I love Cracker Barrel, bro.
nah. I love it, just not when I was working as a dishwasher. Nah,
Yeah.
but it was. I mean, that was my next step. But it was just I was working, like just like working a couple hours, and I ended up quitting. So I was just really just at a point where it was like I had nothing. I quit football. I wasn't working. I was just really chilling. So
When you say
I
you
had
quit
like a
football, did you quit football in high school or were you going to college?
now I played college. I played college for a year. Like I
I
played
remember you
college,
saying
but
you struggled a lot during that time, bro.
man, college was probably the most. Yeah, I struggled a lot, like growing up, but like college was probably the toughest because it was me. I always struggled, but I always had my mom. Always had, I always had somebody to look at. But in college, it was like it was me. I didn't know how to handle that pressure, so back then I gave it up. I was good though. I was probably just as good as I was making beats for real.
And what position did you play?
I played center and tackle.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. And so you're simultaneously at the same time making beats, right? Is that when you kind of started or
Yeah, I was just making beats. Like I was in at that time I was in Tennessee staying with my granddad.
okay.
So I started making beats, and then I ended up coming back to something. And then like me and the dude from the city, we ended up getting a song. And it was like in the city, it was a big song. I mean, we didn't really have like a lot crazy going on, so it made pretty good noise. And at that time, I was like, shoot. I mean, I guess I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I wasn't good, but in my head, I was good enough to have the confidence to keep going. So at that point, when we really just kept working, and I started recording people in the city.
Yeah. No, that's dope because, and I think that's important, man. Because I remember the first time I worked with an artist. I remember the first time I heard my song on the radio. Like in those moments, that's like the biggest thing that has happened for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the excitement's there, and you said it perfect. It gives you that super boost in confidence to make you feel like, all right, I got this. I can really do this for real. So, talk to me a little bit about the music scene where you were at. Like, what was happening around that time musically, for this to even have an opportunity to bubble where you're from.
musically, like at that point, I really didn't know too much about the music scene. But when I started engineering, I really learned everything because I recorded everybody, so I know like I really learned the ins and outs of like the city, like of music. So it really started. I'm not gonna say that I made it start moving because it was like people was doing it before me, but
Right.
I mean I just helped in the process of it. Like when I started recording, I gave people a cheap way to record with good quality, so more people started coming out. So in the city, it started being more like the people who could rap, they didn't have the money to record. Now they have somewhere to go record with actual like A1 quality for $20-$25 an hour. So the music scene just started building. So now it's like we actually have like a legit music scene now. Like, nobody has fully popped yet, but it's a couple people that's really like making noise.
Like prior to getting any placements, was that like a goal for you, or was it just strictly like local based? I just like what I'm doing. I'm gonna do this, or did you at some point feel like, you know what? At some point, I'd like to start working on getting bigger records with bigger artists.
Now I never chased placements. I didn't even really like know like who to hit up for placements, like how to get placements. I was just like, I want to make money so I could live. I was at a point where I didn't have any money. I was like almost homeless. So it was like I just want to sell beats so I could live.
Yeah.
Like I really never like was like, yeah, I want to work with this artist, or I never like when I first started, I never had a bucket list or I want to work with like such and such. I was just like, I want to make money from it. Like
So
I had the passion, but at the same time, it was like I couldn't really focus like that because I just really needed the money. So the placements just came naturally.
So there was no help. There was nobody there trying to tell you like, "Yo, we can go get a bag here with the placements. We can go. I got connections for you." It was none of that. It was literally like, would you say your career was like super self-made? You doing your own thing, trying to get to the next level.
I mean, at first, like my manager came in like a couple years ago. Like you feel me? He didn't put in a lot of work. So like, I mean, at first it was like, yeah, I didn't have anybody around me that knew what they was talking about. So it was pretty much just grinding, just hard work, just learning, trial and error. Well, I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have nobody around me that could teach me. But eventually, like my manager, he ended up coming in and we started building the team. But I mean, in the beginning, yeah, it was just like just self-made for real.
What kind of, I mean, do you remember any of the mistakes that you made early on that you're like, damn, like I wish I would have known better at this point?
It's one mistake I want to say, but I don't want to say because I don't want to mess other producers up who do it. Like, but but really just thinking that one big mistake was really like not learning how to separate the business and like personal.
It's a hard
Like I
one.
used to get that. Like I used to think like I used to let it get to me. Now I'm just like, all right, bet y'all don't even gotta work with me personally. You don't even gotta do nothing personally. Just let's do business. You feel me?
Yeah.
I know how it is. So, and another mistake, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just say it. One of the mistakes I made was just paying big producers thinking I was gonna get a place.
That is a very common thing in the producer community, man. Talk on it a little bit. Like, I mean, is that what you were doing at that time?
Yeah, it's like I'm not telling you don't pay a producer for a placement. I mean for a collab, but don't expect a placement.
Yeah.
Like if they can tell you, if they tell you, yeah, I'm gonna get you a placement with this collab, they're like, I can't even promise you a placement. Like nobody can tell you, yeah, I'm gonna get you this artist 100%. So it's like they're telling you, yeah, I'm gonna get you this, don't fall for it. But they're telling you, yeah, I'm gonna play your beats. It's a possibility. We
Yeah.
can work. Then yeah, I would do that. But if they're just telling you, yeah, I'm gonna get it placed for you, 9 times out of 10, you probably just wasted your money.
TNT, you and I can both agree on this because I know I have seen it. I'm more than sure you have seen it. You've experienced it. You can't guarantee, like, you don't even have a guaranteed placement yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As the producer in the studio, I don't have a guarantee. There are things that I just knew were going to come out. And when the album dropped, I'm nowhere to be found. Nobody hit me up prior to. I've had things where they got all the paperwork done, everything was ready to go, and the day it was supposed to come out, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna put your record on." So I can understand, like, I see what you're saying, and I think that's super
yeah,
important because the reality is they're not paying for the placement; they're paying for the possibility, right? That's more,
yeah.
and they
That's why
gotta
I tell
understand
people
that.
just tell them it's a possibility. Like I tell people all the time, like I can't charge y'all because I can't tell y'all this beat gonna get placed. I get a lot of placements, but y'all got to see how many beats I make that don't get placed.
Yep,
You know, I may get 100 placements a year, but I make over 1,000. So
and
it's
that,
like I can't promise y'all. So I mean, yeah, that was like I spent a lot of money that I didn't have.
yeah.
You know, at the time I was spending 500. 500 was 2 weeks paycheck. You know, thinking that I was gonna get a placement, but nothing came from
Yeah, that's crazy. And so talk about, I don't want to go too crazy out of order here, but talk a little bit about that, man. Like your production rate versus your success rate is drastic, right? You said for every what did you say, 100 placements you might get, you've made 1,000 beats and submitted a thousand.
yeah, like man, let's see how many beats I made. Like that's a good question though. I wonder how many beats I got on my computer. This is not how many I've made, but this is how many I got on my computer. It just puts it in perspective. Like I can't promise.
Yeah. Well,
Like what you about to say?
I said, well, because I've heard, there's a saying that says for every yes, there was 100 no's. You know
And
what
I
I
get a lot of
mean?
no's every day. Like
And
I still get no.
how does that affect you as a producer and a creator? Did that discourage you? Does that encourage you? Because it works different for different people.
Nah, I mean it used to discourage me, but now it's just like, all right, you don't like it, somebody will. Because I've had big placements with beats that I've sent to other big artists, but it dropped with another big artist. I'm like, all right, they didn't like it, but somebody will. Like, I don't really get discouraged anymore. I just keep working.
Yeah.
I get told no. Like, even with all the places I have, like, the success, I still get turned down, like, you know, every day.
Yeah. I talked with this producer last time I was in LA, and he said, I get excited every time somebody tells me no. And I looked at him and said, why? He said, because I'm that much closer to a yes. And I was like,
Nah, definitely. A yes gonna come. I mean, if you keep working, like if you're in the right position and you keep working, a yes gonna come.
that's
Like I don't really care about no's anymore. Like, cause I know like the work I put in. Not even about me being hard or anything, but I know the work I put in. So
yeah.
you know,
No, that's what's up. So let's talk about your first placement, man, with Mike Jones. Talk a little bit about it because it wasn't as extravagant as most people's story or some people's stories about getting a placement. But I want people to know like how your first big opportunity came about.
man, it was a feature. It was off YouTube. It was just like, I mean, back then that was Drake. You feel me? Like I ran through the house. Like I mean, cause back then I was just recording locally. I was just selling beats for like $30. So when I heard Mike Jones, he was a legend. I mean, people can say what they want, but man, he's a legend in some sense. So like back then, not having any placements, it was just that was crazy. I would have called everybody, and it probably wasn't even that big for real.
When you said back then, I thought you were gonna start rapping. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me.
Ah, for real, he a legend, man. Definitely.
Listen, I'm from Texas, so I understand what Mike Jones is to Texas, and especially during the time he was super popping. So, no, that's dope, man. And you say they got the beat from YouTube.
Yeah, that's how a lot of my placements come, man. Like that's why I still post to YouTube. Like I post to YouTube for two reasons, because the people who like been sticking with me from the beginning, like I gotta keep with them.
Yeah.
And then it's placements.
Yep.
I still get placements. So it's two reasons that I still post.
That's dope.
Give people opportunity to still get beats from me.
No, that's fire. So with that situation with the Mike Jones, was there any business? There was no business talk or anything. It was just like your first chance to get your beats on somebody's album that somebody was notable.
They probably just leased it for real.
Yeah.
But I never heard nothing else about it. I didn't even have a manager or anything back then, so paperwork was just. I had placements with actual sound artists that I never to this day got paid for.
And how do you feel about that, man? Because I noticed there's this ongoing debate, right, in the community of like you got to have your paperwork ready, you got to have all this together legally, but and if we're being honest, man, first time producers new in the game, they really don't have all that information and know everything they're supposed to do. They sometimes don't even know they're supposed to have an attorney, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But do you count that up as like charging it to the game and it's part of paying dues? Do you charge? Do you just be like, oh, it's just a learning experience? Like, are you one of those producers that's like, nah, fam, I'm gonna press charges on you. We're gonna go to court. We're gonna like, I need my money because we do have across the board all those types of producers. Where do you sit in that spectrum?
I mean back then, like I'd be like, I'm just like one of the cool like producers. I don't really trip on a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
I'm not really like high maintenance or anything. So I mean, I was just like whatever. I was like whatever. I'm just working. I may end up getting it. I was just like it's exposure.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I get it though. It's certain producers that they don't have like $1 to their name. So $1,000 advance or $5,000 advance could be something that could really change stuff for them. So I get it why they're like, okay, this rapper has millions of dollars and they're rapping on my beat. Why am I not getting paid? So
Right.
I get it. Like I get it, but it's just a certain way to go about it.
Yep.
Because the industry will be like, yeah, you tripping. I'm not working with you no more.
and,
For
and
real.
and I think that's what a lot of producers don't realize, right? They think that music business is run just like an exchange or a purchase at Walmart, and it's not the same thing, right? It's not a you have something I want, let me pay you for it. There's so much. It's
Yeah.
so intricate in the creative space, right? When it comes to making music, paying for it, selling it, all that stuff. Um, and the bigger play here is the relationships. Wouldn't you say? It's not so much about the money. Actually, I heard you say that on Twitch recently. You're like, I'm not super like invested in just the money. It's more about the relationships for me. I mean, talk to me about.
Yeah. Cause like, I mean, you gotta have money. I mean, you do it because you gotta like survive, but it's like at first it's just you gotta build in relationships. You can't come in the industry. I got no placements. I got no credentials, no background, but I'm gonna come in and I want 15,000. I want 10,000. You know, it's just it don't work. They're gonna be like, all right, bet I'm gonna get this person to remake your beat, and there's nothing you can do about it because we're $1 billion company. That's
Yep.
why I tell people like, stand your ground, respect yourself as a producer, but understand the situation. Understand that the industry isn't fair.
Yep.
You know, it's the reality. Like that's just how it go. Don't mess yourself up so early because you just, oh, I think I should be paid this because you heard a producer say they got paid this.
Yep.
You know that producer is getting paid 10,000 because he done put in 10,000 hours of work. You feel me? So it's like stand your ground and like want more for yourself and understand like that you deserve to be compensated and like everybody deserves to be compensated in like some way, but don't go around just going crazy. You know, I've seen people do some crazy stuff like, and I'm just like, people in the industry probably never gonna work with you again.
And you know, they don't realize, like, from the outside looking in, the industry seems like it's so big, and the people that are involved, there's so many, and it's not. It's so small, bro. Like the circles are very tight. They're very small.
Yeah,
And once you do something that somebody doesn't like, and if they're in a good position, they will let other people know, like, yo, I don't really mess with this guy, or don't work with
nah,
this.
it happens. It
Mm.
happens a lot. That's why like I play it cool. Like I'm cool. I don't cause problems. I don't. It's a lot of times in situations I could have pressed issues. I could have asked for more money. I could have just caused problems. But I'm just like, I'm blessed to be in this position I'm in. You know, I'm not gonna let nobody just take advantage of me. But at the same time, I'm just like, all right, bet they want to pay this. All right, let's do it. You know, like I don't really cause problems. I feel like that's why a lot of people work with me.
Yeah.
I really just chill because I'm like, I'm really just blessed to like be in a position I'm in anyways. You feel me?
Yep. Man, so last time I talked with you, and I don't even think it was in the interview, just I think just in conversation, you were still very independent doing your thing, you and your management. Um,
Yeah.
have you signed since then?
Yeah, I'm with Warner Chappel now.
Big moves, big moves.
Yeah.
I would imagine big bags too, huh? You don't have to answer that.
They got me right, man. They definitely got me right.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. So talk to me about the experience, man. How is that different from what you were doing previous to now? I mean, is it cool like to have that support system? I know just being part of a label is can be a whole new experience. So yeah, well, how is that for you, man?
Right now we just figuring things out, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, right now I'm just, you know, I'm just working like I've been working. We're just going like we're just figuring everything out at the moment. So, you know, I mean, we still got a lot of time together, so we're just trying to get everything right because like certain situations happen where things got kind of like messed up a little bit. So it's like nobody's fault.
Right.
It just was things out of our control. So right now we're just figuring everything out. But I mean, we're you know we're talking and sending packs and chopping it up. So
Well,
eventually everything gonna come together. We're gonna get it right.
well, the dope thing about you is that you are already getting these placements prior to signing with them, correct?
Nah, definitely. Like the work don't stop. Like the work keep going. Like whether you sign to a label or not, I don't care if the label will talk to me every day, put me in session. I'm gonna still be doing my own work.
Yeah.
Like so that's the thing about it. Like don't depend on nobody to do the work for you.
And I appreciate that about you because I think a lot of times people get themselves into a situation, a really good situation where they get a big bag and then they get comfortable. Things slow down. They start depending on other people to do things. And it seems like for you and your team, it's just like, hey, it's just another day, bro. We're going to keep it moving.
Man, I'm about to lock in as soon as it's over with. About to knock out a 10 pack.
Yeah. So with the knowledge you have now, because I mean, you've been very successful as an independent producer, and I want to touch on that in a little bit. But you know, now working with major artists, being signed to a major label, um, how do you feel that translates for producers? Like how, um, with the information you have now, how would you communicate? Yo, if you're gonna come in this game, if you want to have like a six figure type of career, this is how many placements you're gonna have to have per year or something to that effect. Like, what is your turnout rate, and what do you tell producers like, yo, if you're really trying to make money? Because I think producers come in here thinking like, as soon as I get a hit record or as soon as I sign a deal, I'm automatically super rich, and I don't. That's not even the case because even in a deal, you still have to recoup money, right? Like, so it's
You gotta recoup, you gotta pay taxes, like you gotta pay your team. Like you're not rich. I signed a big deal. I'm not rich.
yeah,
But at the same time, I understand that. I understand that this deal I signed, I feel like was a stepping stone to the deal that I'm really gonna get. That's like gonna change everything. You feel me?
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, understand that I got 400 or 500 placements. You know, I'm not just, you feel me, a multi-millionaire just chilling on it in Dubai. You feel me? Just taking, I'm grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not hurting. I'm not like wanting, but it's like at the same time, I'm still. People will probably look at me and look at my Instagram, look at places and think like, yo, he's just. You feel me? I tell people like I'm grinding just like y'all.
yeah.
Like that first deal. I feel like that first deal is really like you gotta know how to manage it.
Yep.
And then that second, I feel like that second deal is where it's just like, all right, I don't even gotta make beats no more. You feel me? I'm just chilling. So I mean, for like, yeah, like
Yeah, so like for instance, like what is your catalog of placements? Not beats, but just placements per year. Like how many are you averaging a year? Because I'm interested. Like at what point did the label take interest? Right? Like what had you already done that said, "Yo, we're interested in working a deal out with you."
it ain't even really how many places you have a year. It's how like because you can get one placement and go
Mm.
number one, and that can beat all 300 placements I got on my ass cap right now. You feel me? So it's really everybody's different because I have like 60 placements, 70 placements in a year, but I haven't had a top 10 yet. I haven't had a number one. So everybody's situation different because somebody can come in tomorrow with one placement.
Yeah.
That's just like a stay, like Justin Bieber and Kid Laroi
Yep.
out of here. So it all depends, but really just work. You feel me? Like it really took probably I say like a year and a half ago that I really got attention from like actual like companies that was like really wanting to give me like legit deals.
Yeah.
Cause I've had people reach out offer me like 30, 40,000, like, that nobody really ever heard of. But like when the real companies that actually start reaching out, probably like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. And do you feel like obviously having the catalog with the artists you already worked with helped that situation? Like
Yeah.
does it increase your value to them?
Nah, definitely. I mean, cause at the end of the day, admin deal or pub deal is basically like your catalog's worth this. We feel like we can make it back plus a little more.
Yep.
So all it is just a value. I mean, they have to like you too as a person, but it's really like what value are you bringing to our company?
Yep.
We want to give you $1 million, but we want to give you $1 million because we know that you're worth more than 1 million. You know,
Yeah. So listen, I don't know how many offers you had around that time, but just going through that process of understanding this side of the business and the negotiation, what was that like for you? Do you feel like you learned a lot during that process?
yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot even after I signed because I learned the hard way of like, yo, your first deal is kind of like, I mean, I didn't learn the hard way because I kind of like learned halfway through before just like completely messing up. I mean,
Yeah.
because from where I'm from, getting a deal, like, it was just, I can be as smart as I want to be. I can be as intelligent, whatever, but that situation is different. You see amount of money that you never thought you'd see in your life that nobody around you ever seen. So I mean, it's kind of hard to manage, but
Let me borrow $5, bro.
man, I got you.
No, that's what's up, man. So I want to go back to something you were talking about. You said it was about a couple of years ago you brought on your manager and started helping you out. Uh,
Yeah,
and this was prior, obviously, to you being signed, correct?
yeah. This is like probably like 3 years ago for real.
And at what point did you feel like you needed a manager? Because I think that's super important. I think a lot of producers out the gate are trying to get like management and like just build this big team, and I don't know that that's always the right move, but I would love to hear your take on it. At what point did you feel like, yo, I need to get somebody here to help me, and why did you feel that?
I really wasn't even looking for a manager. Like I wasn't like I didn't feel like I needed anything to be managed. I had placements, but I was just kind of just working, like I really wasn't doing nothing crazy. So in my head, I wasn't like, oh, I need a team, I need a manager, I need a lawyer, I need this or that. I think I think he emailed me one day. Yeah, I think he just randomly emailed me one day. He was like, boom, I'm Kevin from LA. Boom, boom, I like your music. I think it was on JD Youngin. I think he was listening to JD Youngin,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like a big fan of him. So I flew out to LA. We just met, but I mean, I didn't even feel like I needed one. But it was like when I met him, it was just the vibe was there. It was good. So
Yeah.
I was like, shoot, I'm kind of doing this by myself. So imagine if I have a team. So it just happened naturally.
And how did that feel? Were you nervous because like this was somebody out of the blue? Like, did you feel like, man, I hope this dude's not gonna take advantage of me? Like, what made you feel like I'm gonna go ahead and take this leap?
I don't know. It was just like, when you meet a person, you're like, all right, bet. I mean, I still, when it happened, you have your doubts, you have your worries, but we had our rocky moments.
Yeah.
Like we had our rocky moments in the beginning where it was just, it was crazy. It was just, but we like, he didn't give up. He was persistent. It was times where I was just like, yo, you feel me? Like
Yeah.
let's just go our separate ways. Cause I didn't understand the music. He was learning just like I was learning. I expected him like when he signed me was like, hey, throw me in the room with Drake.
Ooh.
I
Talk
expect
about it, bro. Talk about it.
no, 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 no. No, I was saying like that's what I was
No,
thinking.
that's what I'm saying. Talk about it, because I think a lot of producers have that mentality going into situations like this with managers.
Yeah. Like I expected, like, all right, bet he's my manager now. I'm about to be in sessions with Drake. I'm about to be in sessions with J. Cole. I'm about to be, you feel me? But I had to learn like it don't just work like that. A manager really manages what you have going on,
Right.
handles your business, make sure you get paid, make sure I don't gotta talk to labels, I don't gotta talk to lawyers. I see my contract when it's ready, I read over it, make sure everything cool. You feel me? Like that's what a manager's supposed to do. But then he also like he works on the side of like get me in sessions, but it's just like we're also growing.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I didn't realize that. I'm like, all right, bet you managing me. You in LA. I'm thinking LA. I never been there. I'm thinking, sure, you live in LA. You gotta know everybody. You feel me? So it was times where I was like, bro, I'm over it. Like, and I ain't gonna lie, like it was bad, but I had to like really learn about the industry and really learn that he was growing just as much as I was, and he was learning. So we got it together. Like we definitely got it together.
That's what's up, man. Growing pains,
But
serious growing pains.
yeah, but as far as producers like expecting that from a manager, I'm not saying don't hold your managers like high standards and everything, but understand that like it don't work like everything about relationships.
Yeah.
Like nobody. There's certain people who have the power just to throw you in like any room, but it's rare that a person could just be like, all right, I'm gonna throw you in a room with Drake. Everybody, you have to build that relationship. You might meet a person who knows Drake friend, and then you meet Drake friend, and then Drake brings you to the studio.
Yep.
Like, I mean, his friend brings you to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Meet Drake. It's just like it's really like that's how it works. Like it's all about just networking. You may meet somebody who knows somebody, then you end up in a room with them.
Yep. No, man. Especially with this artist like that big, there's just sometimes it's just stages. I know my manager personally has been in sessions with Drake. I haven't yet, but he's like,
Yeah,
listen, it's about let's just take it as it comes, and I'm with it, bro. I'm like, I don't care if you're in there, I'm in there. Like, we just need somehow to be in those rooms, and sometimes it just takes steps, man. Like sometimes it's a process, and I'm cool with it. And you sound like you're really, really like, especially now seems like you really are finding your footing. You're really getting an understanding of how like this stuff works, because it is kind of like a chess game, right? It's like you got to really know what you're doing, when you're doing it, why you're doing it, how you're doing it. You don't want to overthink it, but there's ways to
Yeah,
maneuver in the industry. You know what I'm saying?
nah, definitely.
And you definitely seem like you've got a really good understanding now of what it is that y'all are trying to accomplish and do. So,
A lot of trial and error.
of
A
course,
lot
man.
of trial and error.
Did your manager manage anybody prior to you?
He managed me and producer Young Tego. We
Hmm.
signed at the same time.
Okay,
Yeah. So that was the only two people.
that's what's
So it
up.
was like really learning from the start. Like he had no experience.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate that though, man. I've always appreciated people who don't have a clue about something, but has the desire and the passion and want to figure it out, and then they go do that. Man, that's something to be said about that individual. So kudos to your manager. Shout out. You want to shout him out? What's your manager's name, man?
Kevin Cassette, man, he a dog now, man.
I bet.
He a dog now. He developed that slowly.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So with all the artists that you've worked with, I mentioned a lot of them at the beginning. Who would you say was your favorite artist to work with so far, man?
I don't have just one. You know, I have. You know, I love working with Rod.
Yeah,
Love working with YoungBoy. You know, I mean Jack Boy. Like it's so many NLE Chopper. It's so many artists that I like generally like their music and
yeah.
that like can talk to you. So I mean, I don't really have just one, but it's definitely a handful of people that I genuinely like. I'm excited for their songs.
That's what's up. What about like newcomers, new artists that may be on your radar that you haven't been able to work with yet? Who are some of the artists that you like that are kind of coming in right now that you're like, I gotta work with this person?
I want to work with Nardo Wick, definitely. Nardo Wick hard. Who else like new? I want to work with what's his name? Jivion. I think that's how you say his name. Yeah, I think the singer.
Giveon.
Yeah,
Giveon
Giveon. Yeah,
is good.
Giveon.
Yeah, I've always known it as Giveon, but now that you said, I don't know, it might be Giveon, but I
I
think
want
it's
to.
Giveon. He's
I
hard.
definitely want to work with him. He's hard.
Yep.
Uh, Newcomers. I gotta see. I mean, cause it's a lot of people like it's a lot of artists. You know, it's a lot of people like that. I definitely want to work with though.
What about females, bro? You know, females kind of running it right now, bro. There's a lot of new
Yeah.
female artists like that are on both on the R&B and on the rap side. Like, who do you really like on that in that space?
Nah, I don't really like listen to it. You feel me?
Yeah,
But I mean, like respect all on working. I don't really like have a favorite. You feel me? Because I can't kind of relate to,
no.
but
I totally feel you. I know what you mean.
yeah, but I mean, I know who's hard. I know if they're hard or not. It don't mean I'll listen to it, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of female artists out here that's really going crazy.
Any you trying to work with?
Man, all on, I want to work with everybody. Like
Everybody.
all on, like I don't like if you working, I'm trying to work.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I love that attitude, man. You know, I was talking to my boy the other day, and I told him I have something in queue right now, something that's possible, and he was like, "Who is it?" And I told him who it was, and he goes, "Oh man, you really like working with that artist?" I said, "I don't think it's a matter of if I like it or not. Like he's working, I'm working. Like let's just
Yeah,
go do this." You know what and because
yeah,
the other thing is, you never know what one thing leads to. You know what I mean? Like, how do I not know that this record turns into a feature with a major artist like? Bigger than what I could have ever imagined. So I try not to look at stuff like that, and I like that you approach the creative process like that. You're like, "Yo, I'm working. You working? You let's do it.
nah,
Let's work."
definitely. That's how it was with Jack Boy. Like like when me and Jack Boy did Pressure,
Hmm.
he was big. He was working. Everybody knew Jack Boy, but it was like he didn't have that song. You feel me? Like I could have been like, nah, I don't want to sing beats. Like we didn't even talk back then. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, he's hard. You never know. Like it could be the one.
Yeah.
And the first beat I sent him was Pressure,
Mm,
went gold. So it's just like you never
that's
know.
fire.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people will look like, all right, bet this is music. Like I don't know, but I'm like, you never know. We inspired a new sound now. You feel me? It's going crazy.
That's dope, bro. That's really dope. So, what is your collaboration process look like? I would imagine by this time your DMs are crazy with producers trying to work. Uh,
Yeah, it's hectic.
how do you go about doing that? Like, I guess two things. How do you go about collaborating with established producers, and then how do you go about collaborating with, or do you collaborate with non-established, independent, up and coming producers?
Like established producers, it's more like more so studio sessions. I'm not really a fan of. I don't really work with too many industry producers. It
Okay.
has to be genuine. Like if I had to genuinely like my guy Forever Rolling, we locked in. Like it has to be like real genuine.
Hmm.
But I mean, as far as like producers that's like not major, I listen. I ain't gonna say I listen to every collab because I get like thousands of them. But literally, all you gotta do is send me a collab. I don't look when I look through my email. I don't even look at names. I just go through them.
So it's all about the music.
It's if I don't. I'm not gonna say your collab will get open because I get so many of them. But
Right.
if you send it, I don't even like. Oh, I don't know this person. I'm not clicking. I just click. And if it's hard, I'm gonna just do it.
That's what's up. Yeah, no, that's dope. So, yeah, and how do people, if you don't mind, like, how do people reach out to you? How do producers, if they want to send you something, is this something that's open for everybody, or is this just, are you really
Yeah. TnTXD collabs at gmail.com. That's my email. It's flooded, but I go through them. If they hard, I'm gonna do them. Like no question.
No,
I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna send them out. I'm gonna send it out soon as we finish. Like I don't care who I collab with. I don't care about the name. It could be a producer that nobody even know of. I'm gonna send it out just like any other beat.
yeah. For Airbit, our mission is make music more fair, right?
Yeah,
I think you do a great job with that, man. Like the fact that you were giving anybody an opportunity to, because again, like these producers, they more than likely don't have anything going on, right? They're just trying to get it figured
yeah.
out, and they could literally go from not having any placement, not having any followers, like non-existent almost, and then from one day to the next could potentially have a big placement with you and any artist that you're working with. And I think that's really dope on your part, bro. That you're not so you haven't turned Hollywood. You know what I mean? You're not like I
Nah,
gotta get in the studio with these big names, and you're like, nah, man. Like if it works, it works. Let's just do it.
nah. I mean, it's like being from Carolina, man. Like we like come from nothing, so it's like we appreciate everything. It's like how could I get where I'm at and just switch?
Yeah,
Because I know how it feels to not have anybody to reach out to and not have anybody to work. So when I get when I get a producer placement, it feels better when I get one.
yeah,
Because I got them. I'm not gonna say like I'm like solidified, but I can stop and I got a pretty straight catalog.
yeah,
But like it's these producers who got zero placements and they look up to these artists and they're just like, if I get one, I might make somebody around me proud, or I might like can believe that I could do it. So like when I get these producers their placements, it's like, it's a great feeling because it could potentially change everything for them.
and I think that's what I like about you, man. Like you stay true to yourself. You're a humble dude. You're cool. You're super cool, man. And that's hard sometimes for some people. Some people, once money starts getting talked about and gets brought into the picture, they change up. And I
Yeah,
kind of feel like we have an advantage because being from the South, we are taught way different than anywhere else. I personally,
nah, definitely.
and we appreciate things a lot. And I'm not trying to judge nobody, but it seems like we appreciate the small
Yeah,
little things and growth, and like those things mean the world to us. So and that's what I like about you, man. That you do stay grounded, and that's super important. Um, with that being said, man, I wanna kind of transition into you're doing all these great things on a major level, but you actually you were still there was a time period where you had nothing, you weren't really, your beats were getting played locally and doing things, and then you have the placements, but in between time you had mentioned it earlier, you were selling beats online, man. Like you've been part of Airbit for how long now?
I've been with Airbit for like 5 years, 5, 6. I don't know. I've been with Airbit for a minute. Like, I mean, seriously, probably like 4 years.
And prior to Airbit, you were doing, how were you selling your beats before?
My flash, it was my flash store before this.
Which is still Airbit. So
Yeah, I've always been on. I was on SoundClick for a
Uh-huh.
little bit, but you know, SoundClick you have to manually send the beats.
Yeah.
So like when I found out, I'm like, all right, this is store that was sending beats automatically because I was working at the time, so I would have to go home from work and remember all the beats I had to send out that I was selling. So I was like, all right, I get off at 12 o'clock. Now I got to send out 10 beats. So when I set up my flash stores, I was at work. They would just, go like directly to them. So that's how it worked.
And just so we're clear, you still sell beats on Airbit?
Yeah, every day.
And why, bro? I mean, again, because I think, and I've witnessed this. I've witnessed a lot of producers who did start selling beats online, but once they got introduced into a placement game, they just leaned really hard into that and totally stopped selling beats online. So why did you feel the need to continue to do that?
I feel like back then people would think like YouTube producers, they'll kind of like water you down for the industry. But like artists don't care no more. Like they honestly, they'll go on YouTube themselves and grab it. So, I mean, but the reason is like I had people when I didn't have 1,000 followers, I didn't have any placements that was buying beats from me. So it was like, how could I just like deprive them of the opportunity to still work with me? Because everybody don't have $5,000-$10,000 to pay for a beat. But you can get $30 for a lease and still have the same quality. So, and then it's just like, I also get placements from it too.
Yeah.
And then I also tell producers like, you make money. It's like the industry really takes so long to pay you. So it's like YouTube pays you every day.
So I want to talk. I want to pause there because you just said something I think should be talked about. You said the industry takes a long time to pay you. Can you give people an idea of what it takes for you to get paid off of one placement? Like, what is that process and how long that takes?
You send a beat, the artist, they may post a snippet, they reach out, but like, hey, we want to clear this. So boom, now the talks go on between the lawyers. Y'all got to come to a publishing split. Y'all got to come to advances. Y'all got to come to points. Y'all got to agree to how it's gonna be credited. How it's down to a T. Everything has to be perfect because once it drops, it drops. And they're not trying to deal with a producer saying, "Oh, this is wrong. I'm suing y'all." So they
Mm-hmm.
gotta make sure. So once y'all agree to everything, then you gotta send probably you get like a rough copy of a contract. You might sign that. Then you'll get an execution copy. You sign the execution copy. So after you sign that, you may not hear for like 5-6 months, maybe. You know, like I just honestly got paid from a song for 2019, like a week ago.
That's crazy.
Like you may not hear for a couple months, and then like the label be like, all right, bet you got to invoice the label. Once you invoice the label, sometimes you gotta go through a vendor. Like it's a lot, it's every company has their own ways too. So you may have to go through for Universal, you may have to go through a portal.
The portal.
For Warner, you have to, it's a lot. So if you can do YouTube, it's simple. It's they pay you, it comes straight to your account.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know I've been paid by a major label within a week of a release, and I've also
Yeah,
waited over a year to get paid. So
not definitely.
it's super inconsistent, and there's so many variables. But I wanted you to speak on it because, a lot of people don't know that aspect of it. And you're right. Like for independent producers, that are not in that world right now and want to be. I think what you did working with a platform like ours, it was able to keep you sustained financially. I would imagine, right? Like
Not
I mean,
definitely.
how well did you get like before the placement? Like how well were you actually doing on Airbit? Like was it your main source of income or was it just complementing your day job? Like how was that for you?
Now I got to the point where I could quit. Like I was living, I wasn't rich, but I was like, you know, I was to the point where I was making pretty good money.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people all the time, man, YouTube is like, if you can get it right, then it's a goal of mine.
So obviously there's producers that are already Airbit users or are selling beats online and they always want like the sauce. Like how did you get people to buy? What were your tricks and your techniques? And you keep reverting back to YouTube, man. Was YouTube a big part of your marketing for Airbit when you were selling through Airbit? Now that you've been selling through Airbit?
Yeah, cause like just having Airbit is like I tell people that's not just enough. You gotta have somewhere they can. they can see the links. You feel me? I got 170,000 subscribers, so I post all my Airbit links in the videos. You know, I posted like 3 times, so as soon as they like click like description is right there.
Yeah,
Because you can have an Airbit all you want, but it's like, all right, where are they gonna see it at? You
exactly.
know, like every video I post is right there in the description, so you can't miss it.
And you made a good point earlier. You said like artists nowadays are really leaning into going on YouTube, where before it might have been frowned upon or it was not really a popular thing. But I hear of major artists all the time now going onto YouTube looking for stuff. So I think that was a great connection. And how many placements would you say you've gotten through your YouTube channel?
Like 50
Wow.
over 50 minimum over, like I say 50 big ones, like 50 like major. I probably have 20 with just Rod alone.
So Rod Wave was a product of your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I probably Popular Loner, Soulfly. I can go off and name a list like literally Cuban Links.
Wow.
So many, like literally like 20, like just misunderstood with Lil Tjay off YouTube.
That's
Like big songs, big artists. Like they don't really. I'm not gonna say they don't care anymore, but it's just like the beat hard. It's just like whatever.
Yeah. And I'm just curious, do they normally at that stage with those types of artists, do they normally go and purchase through our portal or do they just hit you directly and y'all do business that way?
Nah, they'll never like go through and release because you
Yeah.
know they have to do certain extra steps to like make sure they're good. So they're not gonna go off of just what I say. You feel
Yeah.
me? Because like they have to take extra steps. So I mean, it's certain stuff they have to do. But
For sure.
like Rod, he like when he used to do it, he'll just reach out to me like, yeah, this is one I want.
Yep. No, that's what's up, man. So, do you think producers in general should, whether they're signed or not, do you think they should sell beats online? Like, do you think it's still a valuable thing?
I mean, if you're making enough money from the industry where you're just like, all right, and you haven't started, I mean, you don't really have to because it is a grind. You know, it may take away from like what you gotta do, but if you're just coming up, you have like no income, like it just is it's not easy, but if you can get it right, you can really change your life.
Well, I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you said like you couldn't just have Airbit alone because realistically, man, we're a platform to help facilitate your career. Um,
Yeah.
and you do, you're right. You said it exactly right. You have to put the work in. Like we try to help from time to time with trying to get certain producers exposure, and we try to mix it up as much as possible to make it fair. But we can only do so much. We've got
Yeah.
so many producers on our platform, and I always appreciate talking to our producers that have done really well because it's the common thread across the board is like, man, we put work in, like
Nah, definitely.
we worked our client base, we worked our YouTubes, we worked our emails, we worked like there was just so many. Everybody does a little bit different, but how did that work for you, man? Did you invest at all in any like paid marketing, either through YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, I used to do like marketing and stuff, but like I just wasted money, you
Hmm.
know. I didn't really know how to do it. Like you could do marketing, but like do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like have somebody who's done it or have somebody who can like really steer you in the right direction. Cause me, I was just putting $50 into $1,000 and just throwing money away because I didn't really like know what I was doing. So if you want to do marketing, do it, but like have somebody show you the right way to do it because you'll really just throw money away and you'll be marketing towards a whole group that you're not even trying to.
Hmm. Yeah. If
Yeah.
I remember correctly, you did tell me, man, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but you had linked up with a couple of friends that were already doing it to get some information from them, right, on how to do.
Yeah. It was Flyway. It was a group of YouTube producers. And they just like they didn't really give me like a secret formula. It was just like, yo, this is what we do. And
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, I see y'all do it. Y'all subscribers are 50, 60,000 ahead of me. So y'all obviously doing something right.
And what kind
So
of stuff was it like? Was it like posting more often than normal, or like what? I mean, can you tell some of the things that you were doing?
yeah, like it was really that's why I tell people like I can't really charge y'all for any kind of information that really got me to where I'm at because it's nothing special. My YouTube was built off of finding an artist that was coming up but had a sound, which was YoungBoy. and posting at a certain time every couple of days and posting consistently
Yeah.
and making my YouTube look professional. Like that's literally the steps. And it's just like when it got hard, I didn't stop. That was literally like the thing is like a lot of YouTube producers, their views will stop. Their views will slow up more than what they used to and they'll just quit.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I know the producers are going to appreciate just any information they could get from you on that kind of stuff. But I want to transition here. We got a couple more things that I want to cover before I let you go. But I want to talk about like the transition in music, right? The shift of the industry. Um, you have two sides of things. I don't know if you've been keeping up at all with like the stuff that's been going on with Joyner Lucas. I don't want to get
Yeah,
into the detail of that because I feel like
yeah.
I want to mind that's none of my business, right? But the thing that I do want to talk about is like he is now back independent and has been for a little while. Um, and independence seems to be becoming like a more common thread more than ever before, and now there's these questions in play is like, do I really need to sign to a label? Can I really do things on an independent grind? um what would you say are some benefits, man, to like either or, whether you stay dependent or whether you sign to a major? Like, what is some insight you could give to both, because you've lived in both, on both sides of the spectrum?
I would say the like deciding to go the independent route is like you betting on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard. You know, it's like a label has certain stuff that you just not gonna have access to. So it's like you can do it, especially nowadays. It's like more than ever you could be independent, but it's like it's gonna be a grind. You know, it's gonna be. They see a lot of people see the independent artists that do pop, but they don't see the independent artists that are struggling
Of course.
because you don't have a budget, you don't have a label, you don't have, you know, you funding everything. So it's like every situation is different. You know, I'm signed, so it's like, but at the same time, I know people who aren't who doing just as good. So it's like I would say everybody's situation different. Like it's certain artists who sign to a major label that drop how they want, don't have any problems. It's
Yeah.
some people who are independent that's going crazy. So it's like both sides, you know. I can't tell somebody don't sign to a major label because they're a major label for a reason. They don't just do bad, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's also people that you see that independent that are grinding, that are reaping like the real benefits of it. So
Again, I still want to touch a little bit on this independent side of what you have done before, but and we touched a little bit about it, but I want to get a little more in depth. Talk about your schedule, man. Like, what is your day to day schedule or your week? So, I know, so depending on what opportunities are available, sometimes you just kind of gauge it by the week. What does your schedule look like? And like for producers, especially independent producers, like what do you think their output should be weekly? Like how many beats should they be making? How many beats should they be posting? Just talking about stuff like that and in your schedule.
is my thing is always be productive. You know, it don't matter. Like you don't gotta make 15 beats a day. You don't gotta make 20 a day, but be productive. Whether it's networking, whether it's responding to people, whether it's branding yourself. It's like always be doing something that's productive. So like when I wake up, I don't really have a set schedule because I always have something that pops up. You know, I always have something going on. So it's like I don't really have a set schedule, but I know every day I got to do something that's productive.
Yeah.
Whether even if I don't make a beat, I'm going to do something that's going to help me better my career. So every day, just wake up and just do something that's going to like make your like self progress, even if you don't make a beat. Because I don't make beats every day because I got real life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like everybody has stuff going on. So, but do something every day that's going to help you build your like towards where you want to be.
Hmm. That's good, man. I wanted to know, is there any advice you have for producers or artists that are coming up that want to make it? You know the term make it. You know what I mean? Like get to that point where they feel like they're in it and they're doing it on a large level. What advice do you have for those creatives?
Man, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's like you gotta just outwork everybody. Like you gotta, I mean, but you also have to have talent. You also gotta be self aware and know you. That's one of the biggest things, being self aware of knowing where you're at. You feel me? Know your abilities. Know like what you need to work on. Know like you feel me? Like coming up, know where you're at. Like I feel like that's one of the biggest things, so you can understand like where you need to get better at, what you need to work on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you outwork everybody because there's so many producers that are working 24 hours a day because they have nothing. And music is the only thing they got. So it's like while you're chilling, while you're thinking, yeah, I'm good, there's 50 people right there, like, yeah, I want what he got. And it's not a competition, but it's like at the same time, it's like, you know, get complacent if you want. And boom, you know, there's 100 people behind you that's ready.
There is, there really is. Especially if you spend any time in LA, you realize everybody out there trying to really, really
Everybody
make it.
talented.
And
Everybody in
you're
LA,
right, they're so talented.
yeah. I know talented people in LA right now that are just geniuses. Like don't have any placements, don't have anything dropping. I've been in sessions with them that are they're crazy. You know, I mean, everybody I'm in a session with LA is just musically a genius.
Yeah.
So it's like when you see that, you're like, all right, why am I chilling? Where there's people out here who's working 24 hours a day just to get one placement.
Yep.
So
I
it's
just
just you got to work.
I just saw somebody post yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he said, I don't get complacent because I've been in the studio with musical geniuses for the most, like, almost what you were saying, pretty much. And he said, and I realized I had so much more to learn. So how could I sit here and be complacent? I gotta be on it because like these guys are hungry, like, and not only are they hungry, they know music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Like I be,
is different from clicking and we
yeah,
understand producers and they range across the board, but there are some a group of producers like it's more about I know what it should sound like and they're clicking and clicking.
yeah,
They're never playing a keyboard, they're never picking up a guitar, they're never playing a trumpet or anything like that. And when you get around those people, bro, it can be hella intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
man,
like,
geniuses.
damn, like I don't even know how to do all that stuff.
Everybody, like everybody's literally, everybody I'm in a session with in LA is just a genius.
Yep.
You know, so it's like just work, man. Like work. That's that's like I hate telling people that because they always think it's just me just trying to give them the short answer. But I'm like, I don't have a blueprint. I didn't do anything special.
Yeah.
You know, I just work. To this day, I work. I just try to outwork everybody.
I think that's the one word that I think is the most applicable word. The one thing you should take and hold dear is that one word is work, bro, because it's everything. I've seen and this is exactly what you're saying. It's just you've seen the people who are willing to work get into places that the talented can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Talent will open the door, but the work and the consistency after that is everything, man. It is everything.
Nah, definitely.
So, so that's what's up, man. So, bro, last time I talked to you, like, I ain't even done. I feel like I'm still getting started. There's so much more I want to do. You've learned so much in the last few years. Is there anything, looking back at everything that has happened, is there any advice you would give a young TNT, right when he's getting started? What is the number one advice you'd give yourself?
Man, I got a couple things I want to tell myself, but the number one advice, man, number one advice
It doesn't
is
have to be. You don't have to pick one. Like list some of the things that you feel like you would tell yourself. I think this is important.
enjoy it. Like enjoy it. You feel me? Because it's like it go by fast. Like it goes like it sounds cliche, but it happens fast. You know, I didn't really take the time to really enjoy the process of when I was first starting. Now, like I'm here. You know, so it's like enjoy it. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Understand taxes are very real. Network. Don't think that you know, like don't think that you're too big to network with anybody. Find an artist. Find an artist like that's coming up that you believe in. Cause if you blow with an artist is out of here. And just work, work, like work. Even when you don't feel like working, work. Get your rest, get your mental breaks, but work
Man, bro,
always.
all that is super good. And it seems so basic and practical, right? But these are the things that people just don't do. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Yeah,
times you get caught up because it's easy to get caught up. And you tend to forget some of these things, but understanding like if you have a foundation and a basic approach like that, understanding I think you're right. I think if you could have given yourself that advice then, I think you'd even be further than where you are now.
Nah, definitely, man. Sheesh,
So,
crazy.
so where do you see yourself, man? Like long term, we're here. We know what you've been doing and what you've done up to this point, but both in the industry and in the music industry and outside of the music industry, like what are your goals, bro? Like what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish over the next 5 to 10 years? And I know nowadays thinking 10 years is like way down the road, but I'm
Yeah.
just curious, like what is your game plan as far as like you and your brand and your business?
In 10 years, like I want to have like, companies outside of music too. And I want to have like producers under me.
Mm,
I want to be to the point where it's like I ain't making beats. I'm not in session. You know what I'm saying? 10 years, I'm not trying to be, I'm
yeah.
trying to be kicked back. Like I want to have number ones and Grammys. Like the places I got, like they're great. I appreciate all of them, but I'm trying to have like them Grammys, number ones, like the ones that just stay around. So I just, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got a long way to go. But 10 years, I got time.
That's dope, man. Well, before we let you go, I know we didn't get to talk like a whole bunch about like your story with specific artists, but I do want to congratulate you. The new young NBA YoungBoy stuff is out, and you got some. I don't know. Do you have how many records do you have on there? Is it just
I
one?
got 5 on there.
Five. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that before I let you go, man. Like, how involved were you with that process? And I hadn't looked at the track list yet because I think it just dropped like yesterday, right, or the day
Yeah,
before.
it dropped yesterday.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to check it out or anything, but how many songs were on there? Do you know? Do you remember?
21.
5 out of 21 is that's good, bro. Like that's a really good number. Talk to me about that. Like, how did that even come about, and how involved were you with that project?
Man, me and Jason, his engineer, we probably met a couple months ago. I sent a pack one time. It was just like a random time they asked for a pack. And I guess the pack that I sent it was just so crazy. Like they sent it directly to his phone. And I ended up getting like 6 songs out of that one pack that actually dropped with him.
Hmm.
Like, so from that point on, he was just like, yo, like we talked and it was just kind of like genuine. Like we just built like me and his engineer, like Jason, we built like a relationship, like, outside of music too. Just like I could like call him and just chop it up. So, they started working on the album and he was just hitting me close, like, yo, I need this exact sound. Like, this is what mood he in, like send me these type of beats. So it would really be easy. I could just make a whole pack, like, all right, bet this what mood he in tonight. So I would send literally probably every 2 days, I would send packs of 20, 25, like every 2 days, like locked in, like missing out on YouTube and all, because I'm like, I gotta make these packs. And it came out to having 5 on the album. So
That's crazy. And how did this process work with him, like being locked up? Right? Did they do a lot of the recording prior to?
yeah, I mean he has thousands of songs, you
Yeah.
know. So these songs like they been, in the works.
Because I think you told me you've been known about this project for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean I knew closely like what was that, but like I can't say nothing,
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
I can say whatever now, but it was like I knew kind of like, certain stuff that was on there, like nothing like, crazy, but I knew certain stuff that like I knew what to be excited about on my end, but I just couldn't speak on it, you feel me?
Yeah. Did and how long have y'all been working on this project? Like that you've been involved on your side?
I've been since I sent that pack October,
Oh wow, last year. We're coming
and
up on almost a year.
number 6 on the album is from that pack. Number 6 on the album, number 18, and number 10 is from that pack.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, it's
That
crazy.
that is crazy, man. And you know what's even crazier is to have a project come out when you're not around to experience it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I mean, listen, congratulations, bro. Like I know that's exciting. Like, NBA YoungBoys. I was telling you earlier, like his career is just so amazing to me that no industry push and the fact that he's still
yeah.
number 1 on iTunes or Apple.
He, yeah, he's number one right now. He's gonna be fighting for Drake for number one on the
I
Billboards
saw
this year.
that. I was like,
Yeah,
ooh, it's about to be crazy.
that's
You got
gonna be tough.
any singles on your end?
Coming out, You talking about do I have any dropping or do I have any on the album?
From the album from the
It's getting playlisted. It's on rap. It's, I think number 4 on Rap Caviar right now.
nice.
Yeah, so I
Nice.
mean they're pushing. It's going pretty good.
That's fire, bro. Well, listen, man. TNT, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, bro.
Oh
Congratulations
yeah,
again for the recent placements and then everything that's been going on. I love every time I go to your page, I see you posting a new plaque. I mean, before
yeah.
you know it, bro, you're gonna have to have your own museum of just plaques. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I hope so. I hope they keep coming, man. Definitely. I hope they keep coming.
Yeah, but I just want to let you know, man, us in the Airbit team, we really, really appreciate you still rocking with us. We're here to support anything that you're doing always. And we appreciate you and congratulate you. And if we can help shine your brand and anything that you
Oh
have going
yeah.
on, let us know, man. We're here for you. And again, appreciate the insight. Again, I seen you a lot on Twitch, and you said something that was super important. And I want to close with this. um, you said something super important on Twitch, and you said you value giving advice. You want to give advice on everything. Why?
Yeah,
Why
I
do you?
love giving advice.
Why do you feel that way, man?
Man, it's just why not? Like, why not be a good person? Like, why not give advice? Why not help somebody? It literally me giving somebody advice would not affect me anyway. You know, it's certain times where I can't write everybody back because I'm busy. But
Yeah,
it's like if I got time, I don't have anything going on. The person asks for advice, it literally won't affect me anyway.
yeah,
Only thing it'll do is help that person. So it's like, why not? Why am I gonna help the next person? You feel me? I'm not where I want to be, but you know what I'm saying? I'm where a lot of people want to be at. So why can't I help somebody else be there?
bro. How can people not like you, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's dope, man. And continue to do that, bro. Don't ever change. Continue to be that person, man. I also noticed that you're still trying to figure out Discord. Come hang out with us on our Discord, bro. We'd love to have you.
Man, I don't know how to.
I'll send you our link so you can check out what we have going on, and if you ever need help with it, you can either connect with me or we have an actual Discord manager who specializes with our Discord. I'm sure he'd love to give you some tips on how to get things moving for you, bro.
Nah, I definitely need it. I don't know how to use it at all.
It's fun.
I
I didn't
definitely need it.
either. I didn't either up until a couple months ago, and I like it. It's a really dope concept. So I know we're a little bit behind the eight ball. You and I with Discord because people been using
Yeah.
Discord for a minute, but I think it would add to what you're doing with Twitch, man. It looks like you're doing some cool things there. Talk to me a little bit about your partnership. You just partnered with Twitch, right?
Yeah, I just partnered. It started on September 1st. Like I'm official partner with them. Yeah, I'm about to get it rolling.
Yeah. What is your game plan for your Twitch? Like, what kind of content you trying to put out?
Give like producers an opportunity like to get their like loops heard, you know, because
Mm,
like I said, I get thousands of like collabs, so it's certain ways that I can like trim it down to where people can get heard, or
yeah.
like artists can like submit their music, like or they can submit their beats, like beat battles, just advice, placement breakdowns, really
Nice.
just being able to just like talk to me because I can't. I got 1,000 unread DMs, so I can't talk to everybody. So everybody can come on there and get any information or like talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah. No, that's what's up, man. Well, good luck with that venture and that partnership, bro. And again, thanks for taking time out of your day to spend with Airbit. We
But
appreciate
yeah,
you, and much success moving forward, bro.
no, I appreciate you, man.
Yep. All right, man. Thanks a lot. You have a good one.